Listen to me carefully. There will come a day in your life when you realize that no one is coming to save you. No miracle, no handouts, no easy way out. That day is the most painful yet the most liberating moment of your existence because it forces you to understand one thing. Your life, your name, your reputation, your value, they're all in your hands. The world does not care about your excuses, your struggles, or your tears. The world respects results, and results come from the blood and sweat you pour into yourself. Work on yourself until you walk into a room and the atmosphere shifts, until your name carries weight without you saying a single word, until your presence commands respect before you even open your mouth. You must become the kind of person whose success speaks louder than any introduction. That requires discipline, sacrifice, and an unshakable belief that you are not born to be average. Stop chasing approval. Stop waiting for recognition. Stop begging to be noticed. Build yourself so relentlessly that people have no choice but to know who you are. Work on yourself until you are undeniable. No one is coming to save you. Let those words sink deep into your soul because they are not just a phrase, they are the harsh reality of life. For too long, people live under the illusion that someone somewhere will come to rescue them. They wait for friends, for family, for the government, for luck, for fate, for miracles. But the truth is, no one is coming. No one is going to knock on your door and hand you the life you dream of. No one is going to pick you up from your misery and carry you to the finish line. You are alone in this fight, and that is not something to fear. It is something to embrace, because the moment you accept that self-responsibility is everything, you take back your power, you stop being a victim, and you start being a warrior. You stop blaming the world, and you start reshaping yourself. You stop waiting, and you start creating. Understand this. Your parents gave you life, but it's not their duty to live it for you. Your friends may support you, but it's not their responsibility to carry you. Your boss may employ you, but it's not his responsibility to make you successful. Every single thing you want in this life, money, respect, health, happiness, freedom, it all begins and ends with you. That's the weight of responsibility, but it's also the beauty of freedom. Because when you finally realize that everything depends on you, suddenly the excuses fall apart. Suddenly you no longer need to wait for permission. Suddenly you are in control. Think about it. How many people waste their entire lives waiting for the right moment, waiting for someone to recognize their worth, waiting for a chance, a connection, a stroke of luck? They wait until they die and the opportunity never comes. Do you know why? Because they never acted. They never decided to take responsibility for their own destiny. Responsibility is not easy. It means you cannot hide behind anyone else. It means if you fail, it's on you. If you succeed, it's because of you. It means you wake up every morning and look in the mirror and say, everything I am, everything I will become depends on the person staring back at me. That is a frightening truth for most people, but for the strong, it is liberating. The difference between the weak and the strong is how they treat responsibility. The weak run from it because it's heavy. The strong carry it because they know that weight builds muscle. Every hardship, every failure, every setback, it is a test of how much responsibility you're willing to shoulder. You cannot build greatness without first accepting the burden that comes with it. You cannot become legendary if you still live in the comfort of excuses. Excuses are poison. They kill potential silently, and they make you believe that someone else is the reason you're not where you want to be. But let me remind you, no one owes you anything, not life, not success, not happiness. Everything you want must be taken with your own hands. Look at the people you admire, the ones who inspire you, the ones who walk into a room and demand respect without speaking. Do you think they got there by waiting? Do you think someone saved them, handed them status, handed them power, handed them success? No. They became who they are because they took complete responsibility for themselves. They worked when no one watched. They pushed when no one clapped. They built themselves so relentlessly that the world had no choice but to notice. That's the level of responsibility you need to embrace. To grind even when it's hard, to keep going even when you're tired, to discipline yourself when no one else is holding you accountable. That's the difference between mediocrity and greatness. When you accept that no one is coming to save you, you develop resilience. You stop waiting for perfect conditions and start working with what you have. You stop whining abo due to unfairness and start finding solutions. You stop living like a passenger and start driving your own destiny. This is what separates the few who succeed from the millions who fail. Success is not about luck. It's about ownership. Owning your mistakes, owning your choices, owning your future. The day you fully embrace self-responsibility is the day your life truly begins. You have to understand the world is harsh and it owes you nothing. But within that harshness lies a gift, the chance to carve your own destiny with your bare hands. That is what makes life beautiful. That is what makes victory so sweet. You will fall, you will break, you will bleed, but when you rise again, stronger, sharper, unstoppable, you will know that it was you who built that strength. Not a savior, not a miracle, not luck, you. And that will make you proud in a way nothing else ever can. So stop waiting. Stop hoping for someone to come along and give you what you deserve. You deserve nothing until you earn I. And the only way to earn it is to take responsibility for yourself. Work harder, push further, sacrifice deeper, and keep fighting until your name carries power, until your presence speaks before your lips do. Remember always, no one is coming to save you, and that's the best news you'll ever hear. Because now you know it's all on you, and you have everything inside you to win. The world only respects results, not excuses. That is one of the hardest truths you will ever face, and yet it's the very truth that will set you free if you embrace it. You can cry, complain, justify, and explain all day long, but the brutal reality is that no one cares about the story behind your failure. No one is handing out medals for almost making it. No one applauds the person who tried but quit halfway. The world is not built to reward intentions. It is built to reward outcomes. You either deliver or you don't. That's the standard life holds you to. And until you accept that, you will remain stuck. Excuses feel good in the moment because they protect your ego. They give you a shield to hide behind when you know you didn't put in the work. You can tell yourself you were too tired, too busy, too unlucky, or that the circumstances weren't fair. But let me ask you, does the world care? Do your dreams care? Do the bills on your table care? Do your goals care? Absolutely not. You can pile up excuses as high as the sky, and the world will still look at you and say, where are the results? If they're not there, nothing else matters. Think about the people who inspire you most, the legends, the leaders, the innovators, the champions. They are respected not because of what they planned, not because of what they intended, but because of what they achieved. History remembers winners, not excuse makers. Nobody writes books about the man who almost succeeded. Nobody celebrates the athlete who trained hard but gave up when it hurt. Nobody builds statues for people who had good reasons for failing. Respect comes only to those who find a way, no matter how brutal, no matter how impossible. Excuses are nothing but a currency of the weak. The more excuses you spend, the more powerless you become. Results are the currency of the strong. Results buy you respect, freedom, recognition, and power. Results make people listen to you. Results make your presence impossible to ignore. And the truth is, no one cares how hard it was to get there. They only care that you got there. That's why champions are celebrated. That's why entrepreneurs who build empires are admired. That's why warriors who rise from the ashes are respected. Because they produced results in a world where most people only produce excuses. You might think, but I have real reasons. Life hasn't been fair to me. I've faced challenges others don't understand. And you may be right, but life is not fair to anyone. Some are born rich, some are born poor, some start with advantage, some start with nothing. But life has always belonged to those who refuse to let excuses become their story. Every great figure you admire has faced challenges, setbacks, pain, and obstacles that could have broken them. But what makes them stand out is that they refuse to be defined by excuses. They understood that the world only listens to proof, not explanations. Results are proof. Proof that you worked. Proof that you sacrificed. Proof that you endured. Proof that you overcame. And once you have proof, you don't need to explain yourself anymore. Your results speak louder than any words could. Your success silences every critic. Your achievements crush every doubt. But to get there, you must stop feeding yourself the poison of excuses. Excuses weaken your mind. They make you soft. They convince you that you did enough when deep down you know you didn't. They trick you into believing the lie that effort is the same as achievement. But it's not. Effort without results is wasted potential. The winners of this world don't look for reasons why they can't. They look for ways they can. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They create results with whatever tools they have. They don't give up when life hits. They adapt, adjust, and keep moving forward. That is why they are respected. That is why their names are remembered. And that is why excuses never come out of their mouths. They understand that respect comes with results, and results come from relentless action, not endless explanation. Ask yourself this: what do you want to be known for? Do you want to be the person who had potential but wasted it, who always had a reason why they couldn't win? Or do you want to be the person who delivered no matter what, who found a way when there was no way, who turned obstacles into stepping stones? The choice is yours. You can choose the comfort of excuses or the discomfort of results. But remember, only one of those choices will make the world remember your name. So stop justifying, stop explaining, stop seeking sympathy. The world does not respect your excuses. It only respects your victories. Commit yourself to outcomes, not intentions. Discipline yourself to do what must be done, whether you feel like it or not. Push yourself past your limits until results are inevitable. And when you finally achieve them, you won't need to introduce yourself. The world will know exactly who you are, because results are louder than excuses ever will be. Build yourself until your presence speaks louder than words. This is not about arrogance. It is about transformation. It is about becoming so powerful, so disciplined, and so valuable that the moment you walk into a room, everyone feels it without you saying a single thing. Words are cheap. Anyone can stand up and declare who they are. Anyone can brag about what they will do. Anyone can speak about their plans. But presence cannot be faked. Presence is earned. Presence is the reflection of years of sacrifice, relentless self-improvement, unbreakable discipline, and a reputation forged through consistent results. You must understand something. Your reputation travels faster than your mouth. Long before you speak, people have already formed opinions about you. They have already felt your energy. And in a world full of noise, talkers, and pretenders, true presence is rare. That is why it commands respect. Presence is built in silence. It is built when you're working late at night while others are asleep. It is built when you're disciplined enough to choose growth over comfort. It is built when you hold yourself to a higher standard than the people around you. Over time, that work compounds, and the result is undeniable. People may not know your full story, but they will feel the weight of your character when you arrive. Think about the people who change the atmosphere when they enter. They don't need to shout. They don't need to explain who they are. Their aura speaks for them. That aura comes from years of consistent action. When you have built yourself to a level of mastery, people can sense it. It's in the way you walk, the way you stand, the way you look people in the eyes. It's in your composure under pressure, your discipline in chaos, and your certainty in uncertainty. That's presence. And that's something no empty words can replace. Words can lie. You can talk about being strong, but your body shows the truth. You can claim to be disciplined, but your habits expose you. You can say you are focused, but your results reveal whether you are. Presence, on the other hand, is impossible to fake. Presence is truth. It is the sum total of who you've become. And when you reach that level, you no longer need to explain yourself. People see it, they feel it, they respect it. That's why the greatest leaders in history didn't just speak, they embodied what they stood for. Their lives were proof, and that proof gave them presence. But presence doesn't come cheap. You must be willing to pay for it with sweat, with effort, with years of consistent self-improvement. You must develop your mind, sharpen your body, and strengthen your spirit. You must build skills so valuable that your work speaks louder than your lips ever could. You must discipline yourself until people admire the way you live, not just the things you say. When you reach that point, your very existence becomes influence. People notice you, not because you shout for attention, but because you radiate strength and competence. Do you want to know why presence matters more than words? Because the world is tired of words. Everyone talks about success, but few embody it. Everyone posts quotes online, but few live by them. Everyone can make promises, but only a handful deliver. When you build yourself to a level where your results are undeniable, you separate yourself from the sea of pretenders. You no longer need to say, I am strong, I am disciplined, I am successful. People will see it in you before you even speak. That is the ultimate foe. RM of respect, to be recognized without introduction. Presence changes how people treat you. It changes how doors open for you. It changes how opportunities come to you. People want to follow strength. They want to associate with power. They want to be connected to someone who clearly built themselves from the ground up. And here's the truth. Your presence will not only affect how others see you, it will affect how you see yourself. When you know you've put in the work, when you know you've held yourself accountable, when you know you've built something real within yourself, your confidence becomes unshakable. You no longer need validation because your presence is validation. This is why you cannot afford to remain ordinary. Ordinary has no presence. Ordinary blends in, gets ignored, forgotten. Extraordinary commands attention without effort. Extraordinary has presence that lingers long after they've left the room. And you have that potential, but you will never access it by talking about it. You will only access it by building yourself day after day, refusing to quit, refusing to lower your standards, refusing to be average. Build your body until your posture screams discipline. Build your mind until your thoughts radiate clarity. Build your habits until your actions speak louder than any speech you could give. Build your reputation until your name itself carries weight. That is how you create presence. And once you've built it, you'll realize something powerful. You don't need to chase recognition anymore. Recognition will find you. Respect will follow you. Opportunities will seek you. And all of that happens without you saying a word. So stop wasting energy trying to convince the world of who you are. Stop telling people your plans. Stop justifying yourself. Stop trying to prove yourself through words. Instead, become undeniable. Build yourself so relentlessly that when you walk into any room, people feel it. Let your presence announce you before your voice does. Because words can be ignored, but presence cannot. Discipline and sacrifice are the foundations of greatness. Every person who has ever achieved something extraordinary in this world has built it on these two pillars. Talent may give you a head start, luck may open a door, but only discipline and sacrifice will keep you moving when the road is long, when the nights are cold, and when everything in you screams to quit. Without discipline, your dreams are nothing more than wishes. Without sacrifice, your goals are nothing more than fantasies. Greatness does not come to those who dabble. It comes to those who give everything. Discipline is doing what must be done, whether you feel like it or not. It is waking up early when your body craves more sleep. It is sticking to the plan when distractions are calling your name. It is keeping promises to yourself even when no one else is watching. Discipline is not glamorous. It's often lonely, repetitive, and exhausting, but it is the invisible thread that separates the successful from the failures. Most people quit because they only work when it's convenient. The great succeed because they work even when it's unbearable. They don't negotiate with their emotions. They command their actions. That is discipline. And discipline always demands sacrifice. You cannot have both greatness and comfort. You cannot eat every pleasure, waste every hour, chase every distraction, and expect to rise above the average. Something must die for something greater to be born. Sacrifice is giving up short-term pleasure for long-term power. Sacrifice is missing parties so you can train. Sacrifice is saying no to laziness so you can build consistency. Sacrifice is rejecting immediate gratification so you can experience lasting fulfillment. Most people want success, but they do not want sacrifice. They want the rewards, but not the cost. They want the throne, but not the battle. That is why most remain ordinary. The truth is, greatness is brutally expensive. It demands your comfort, your time, your sleep, your energy, and sometimes even your relationships. It asks you to give up everything that weakens you so you can become strong. It asks you to bleed now so you can celebrate later. It asks you to be lonely today so you can stand above tomorrow. Sacrifice is painful, but pain is the currency of progress. The more you are willing to sacrifice, the greater your capacity to achieve. Look at the lives of champions, leaders, and innovators. Their discipline is unshakable. Their sacrifice is undeniable. Athletes train when others rest. Entrepreneurs grind when others party. Warriors sharpen their skills when others waste time. Every story of greatness is a story of giving up something now to gain something larger later. And what's incredible is that those sacrifices that feel so heavy at first eventually become the reason you are respected. No one remembers the comfort you gave up, but everyone remembers the greatness you built from. The problem with most people is that they run from discipline because it feels restrictive, and they run from sacrifice because it feels painful. But in doing so, they chain themselves to mediocrity. Comfort is the real prison. Pleasure is the true trap. Greatness is on the other side of discomfort, and discipline is the bridge that takes you there. Every day you choose comfort over discipline, you're making a trade. You're sacrificing your future for your present. But when you choose discipline over comfort, you're making the opposite trade. You're sacrificing your present for your future. That's the difference between living an average life and building a legendary one. You will have to decide which pain you're willing to endure. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Discipline hurts in the moment, but regret hurts forever. Discipline demands effort now, but regret demands your soul later. The people who live with greatness chose discipline. The people who live with bitterness chose excuses. You cannot escape pain, but you can choose which type of pain shapes you. When you build your life on discipline and sacrifice, you become unstoppable. Your habits harden you. Your sacrifices sharpen you. Your consistency makes you resilient. Nothing can break a person who has already chosen to suffer for their goals. When challenges come, you don't crumble. You've already paid the price in advance. That's why discipline and sacrifice are the foundation. They prepare you to carry the weight of greatness when it arrives. Without them, success would crush you. With them, success becomes your servant. So stop searching for an easier way. Stop asking for shortcuts. Stop waiting for motivation. The path to greatness has always been the same: discipline and sacrifice. It's the early mornings, the late nights, the quiet work when no one claps. It's the choices you make every single day when no one is watching. It's saying no to weakness, yes to consistency, and building why ourself brick by brick until the foundation is unshakable. Discipline and sacrifice may not feel good in the moment, but they build a life that feels extraordinary forever. They may demand more than you think you can give, but in giving it, you discover the strength you never knew you had. And when you finally rise, when you finally stand on the peak of greatness, you will look back and realize that every sacrifice was worth it, every ounce of discipline was necessary, and every pain was simply the price of becoming unstoppable. Become so undeniable that recognition chases you. Too many people spend their lives begging for approval, waiting to be noticed, desperate for someone to validate their worth. They want applause before they've even stepped on stage. They want respect before they've put in the work, and they want recognition without achievement. But that is not how the world works. Respect is not given. It is earned. Recognition is not something you chase. It is something that hazes you when you become too great to be ignored. The only way to reach that level is to become undeniable. What does undeniable mean? It means no one can argue with your results. It means your skills, your discipline, your presence, your achievements speak louder than any critic, louder than any doubt, louder than any excuse. You don't need to introduce yourself. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to beg anyone to see your value. Your work, your success, your consistency makes the introduction for you. Undeniable means that even those who dislike you, even those who envy you, even those who wish to see you fail, cannot deny your greatness. They might not admit it out loud, but deep down, they know you are something they cannot compete with. But becoming undeniable is not easy. It is not a gift you are born with. It is a state you build brick by brick, day by day, through relentless effort. You must train when others sleep, study when others waste time, work when others complain, and sacrifice when others chase comfort. You must push yourself so far beyond ordinary that extraordinary becomes your standard. At first, no one will notice. They will ignore you, mock you, doubt you. But if you stay consistent, if you keep building, one day they won't be able to look away. Your results will be so loud that they drown out every critic. That's what being undeniable means. Forcing the world to recognize you because your existence cannot be overlooked. Recognition that you chase will always run from you. If you beg for validation, you will look weak. If you scream for attention, you will look desperate. If you spend your life trying to prove yourself to others, you will always remain beneath them. But recognition that chases you is different. It comes when your value is so high that people seek you out. It comes when your reputation precedes you. It comes when your name carries weight without explanation. People want to work with you, respect you, follow you, and reward you, not because you asked, but because you became too powerful to ignore. Understand this, the world is full of noise. Millions of people are talking, posting, bragging, claiming they are special, but talk means nothing. What cuts through the noise is undeniable proof. When you build yourself into a force, when your results tower above the crowd, when your discipline makes you unstoppable, you won't need to scream to be heard. The world will fall silent when you show up. This is why your only focus should be on becoming undeniable, not chasing recognition. Recognition is a side effect, not the goal. The goal is mastery. The goal is strength. The goal is unshakable proof that you are elite. And here's the beautiful part. When recognition finally chases you, it comes with power, it comes with respect, it comes with opportunity. You no longer need to introduce yourself to rooms. You walk in and they already know who you are. You no longer need to convince people of your worth. They already feel it. You no longer need to chase opportunities. They chase you because everyone wants to be associated with greatness. That is the level you must aim for. But the road there will demand everything. You must be willing to be invisible while you work. You must endure the years where no one notices, where no one claps, where no one cares. You must sacrifice recognition now so you can earn undeniable recognition later. Those who chase attention too early burn out because their foundation is weak. But those who stay disciplined in the shadows, building brick by brick, rise so high that recognition has no choice but to follow them. Becoming undeniable is not just about what you achieve, but who you become. It is about turning yourself into a person of such strength, such consistency, such mastery that your character speaks louder than any introduction. It is about living in such a way that people feel respect without you asking.